the next thing that we want to do is the bowl drop, and we're going to see what the reaction to that is. And so we're waiting for the dog not to pay any attention to Rhonda. We don't want the dog to actually see the bowl drop.
He kind of
came right to it.
Yep.
Came right to it. Actually was like, oh, what's that? You know. So there was no fear. There was no kind of reaction to that at all. So he did quite well in that area as well. So he's sitting nicely waiting for Rhonda to do something else. And so now she's going to solicit play. And what we're looking for is how quickly the arousal factor goes up. We're looking for what's appropriate. What does the dog do? Is the dog jumping, leaping at her? Is the dog doing some open mouth grabbing? So based on that, we're just gonna, again, we'll stand off to the side and we'll see what happens.
Do you want to play? Do you want to play? Do you want to play? Come here. Come here. Oh, do you want to play? Do you want to play? Do you want to play? Come on, let's play. Let's play. Come here, let's play. Hi. Oh. Do you want to play? Do you want to play? Oh, you just want to get petted. Come here. Oh. Do you want to play? Okay. What I saw was some body checking. Yes.
Okay. And what we mean by body checking is he actually threw himself up against Rhonda, which is, again, typical dog play, but not necessarily appropriate for kids, not necessarily appropriate for someone who maybe doesn't know the strength of this dog. So I'll let you elaborate a little bit on that, Rhonda, on what you thought.
Obviously, kids running around, he's probably going to do the same thing. He's not going to be able to understand the difference between me being taller and heavier than a little child. So that could knock a kid down or hurt him. It's not necessarily an aggressive behavior, but he's a big guy, so he could hurt somebody. So
just by virtue of, you know, wanting to engage or wanting to play, he could just, if he threw his body up against a, you know, a 4-year-old child, chances are he's going to, you know, flip that kid across the room because he is so strong and he is so powerful. There was no mouthing, there was none of that whatsoever. But it's one of the things too that we always tell people that, you know, it's not always appropriate to roughhouse with your dog because you actually teach them inappropriate play. You teach them to do these types of things, and so we discourage that type of physical roughhousing. The other thing too is that when you do roughhouse with a dog, any size, doesn't make any difference. It confuses the dog as far as leadership. Who's in charge here? Because again, a pack leader doesn't roughhouse with a lower dog. So that was that play, and then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to check on the food bowl. All right, so it's the same thing that we did with Maggie, and Rhonda's getting the food ready, and she's going to put the food down.